Peace and blessing, family. It's your man, Marifa, and welcome to Still Building Podcast. Yo, man, we got us an amazing show today, y'all. We talking about loyalty and reparations. I know the two don't mix, but we're going to make a mix today. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of stuff to discuss, man. We're going to be talking about a lot of that and much, much more on today's episode starting right now. Let's go. Yeah, we black yet again, boy. It feels good, y'all. We black for Mother's Day's weekend. You know what I'm saying? This Mother's Day weekend. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and talk to mama if she's still on the planet with us. And bless those who ain't got their mama with them, man. Love, respect, you know what I'm saying? And rest in peace for mama, you know what I'm saying? Her spirit gonna always be with you. Believe that. You did. But dig, we got us an amazing show today. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring my panel on. You know how we do it. You know what I'm saying? Jack O. Kit Jones,
building,
we
baby.
in the
Back
building,
again.
Still Building Podcast, baby. We black yet again. You know what I'm saying? Man, fellas, it's good to be back, y'all. It's good to be black
Oh
yet
yeah,
again.
yes indeed, yes indeed. Look,
You know what I'm
you know I
saying?
done missed a couple of shows.
Yo, we ain't seen you in a minute. We ain't seen you in a minute. That's how they say it. We ain't seen you in the month of Sundays. We ain't seen you in the month of
They
Sundays. You know what
about
I'm
to
saying?
send. They about to send
Yo,
out the search
Been a
crew
cool
for you.
day.
You know.
they was gonna call an APB on. I don't know if they gonna pull the all points bulletin on for black folks, but they gonna put you on the back of a milk carton somewhere. Say, "Where's Jack O at?"
Right?
I'm telling you.
No
Look,
doubt,
before we
no
get
doubt.
started, fellas, let me go ahead and break out some admin notes, man. We want you guys to like, subscribe, follow, and share all of our platforms, man. We got Still Building Podcasts that we got on YouTube. We on Facebook. We on TikTok. We on Twitters. You know what I'm saying? We on Patreons. And we coming to fan base. You dig? That's coming next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Still Building Podcast is growing. Our numbers is up. We need you, the subscribers, the listeners, man, the viewers, everybody to like the channel, subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, so you will never miss a show. You know what I'm saying? So, fellas, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about loyalty. I'm gonna get the definition right here. We're gonna talk about loyalty for a minute, man, and we're gonna freestyle into a lot of different things. You did. So that's
Let's
how we
get
gonna
it.
get to it. I'm gonna see the definition of loyalty. If I could pull it up right here on my smartphone, they call it smartphone. Let's make ourselves smart. All right. It says the definition: loyalty, a strong feeling of support or allegiance. Then it says here, the true meaning of loyalty is a person's devotion or sentiment of attachment to a particular object, sometimes which may be another person or a group of people, an idea, a duty, or a cause. So loyalty, man, can go into various different directions. You know what I'm saying? You could be loyal to people, you could be loyal to a group, an
Yeah.
idea. You can be loyal to all type of things. You know what I'm
Your
saying?
job.
Your job, your loyalty, you can be loyal
Yep.
to. A lot of people, man, they get caught up in being loyal to the wrong individual people, though. You know what I'm saying? And they
Yeah.
waste a lot of time. For instance, I would say, you should be loyal to yourself, first. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Always.
A lot of people
Always.
don't be loyal to themselves first and understand who they are and knowing what they want out of this life, before they give themselves totally and fully to someone else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or something else. So loyalty, man, could be either detrimental or it could be beneficial to you. So it's all in how, you put your loyalty and where you put your loyalty in, where your loyalties lie. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking
Absolutely.
at it from that perspective, what is it, Jack, that you think that is most, beneficial when someone is loyal?
In regards to a relationship, man, or what exactly are you asking me? Just to
What kind of
excuse me.
benefits can be from, being loyal to something or someone? What benefits can happen from that?
Well, man, there can be a lot of benefits in being loyal to something and or someone. right?
Yeah.
I'll give, for instance, man, is our story, right?
Yeah.
Where, you know, in the military, man, we were tight like glue, right?
Oh yeah.
Everybody, we got together, man. We did things with each other. We spent that time. We built those bonds and relationships, man. And over a period of time, it became broken, right?
Right.
And during that period of time, we were still growing. We were doing our own things, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I'll say that your loyalty to me, right? When you came looking for me, like, bruh, for one, that lifted me up, lifted my spirit, let me know, hey, somebody out there care about a brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That you know, like, hey, look, I had you in my life, man. I want you back in my life. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. Yeah.
And that same loyalty, man, which should be in families. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Whereas no matter what happens during that time that you're growing up together or whatever the case, right?
Yeah.
Me, I have a bunch of brothers and sisters. It was 11 of us. And,
Yeah. Y'all deep,
so,
boy. Y'all deep. It's a basket.
hey,
That's a
bro,
football team right there, boy. 11.
absolutely.
Yo.
Look,
I got
and
eight. I got eight in mine.
where I live, your family was your gang, man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
so, so that was your gang
That's right.
affiliation. If you didn't have a big family, man, you was in trouble.
Yeah, anything
But
go down, boy, you're gonna have to fight everybody in that family. You know what I'm saying? The whole list of everybody.
okay, indeed. But point I'm trying to make, man, you know what I'm saying, is in families, right? Especially that size and magnitude, man. You have a lot of people that you disagree with, you know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. Y'all get
Yeah,
into little scrapes and scuffles and so on and so forth, man. But if you maintain that sense of pride within your family, man, to say, look, it don't matter what happened, I'm still here for you. You know what I'm
right,
saying? That's a loyalty, man, that I think a lot of people get away from. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
yeah,
The loyalty to the family, man, and to making things better for the entire group. When you talk about group loyalty, man, that's the whole point and purpose, right? You want
yeah,
to make things better for the entire group, not just for yourself. And then, of
right.
course, as was mentioned, man, self loyalty. You know what I'm saying? You have to know what you want out of this life, man, and you have to be steadfast in going towards it.
Guess
I
who
could
joined us,
give.
ladies and gentlemen? D Cook in the building, y'all. D
Oh,
Cook,
watch that now.
Yo,
what's happening,
yo.
bro?
I got my Desperado mask on because I just got
Yo,
Yeah.
released from the hospital.
I
you
know,
got
brother.
released.
That's
That's what's
hey,
up,
that
baby.
is beautiful.
Yo,
Yeah,
That's
Hey,
beautiful.
that's what I'm
I'm in my
talking
man,
car in
about.
front.
congratulations, bro.
Yeah, thank you. I'm in my whip in front of the VA right now,
Right
and
on.
my loyal wife,
Yeah,
that's bound by
Okay.
covenant, is in there trying to get my meds for me. So,
That's right.
that's
That's
what's
right,
up,
Absolutely.
bro.
brother.
Hey,
That's
no
what's up.
doubt, man. That's good stuff, brother.
So you had
Man,
to
I'm
have
glad
Good
to,
that.
I'm
stuff.
glad to hear you out, bro. For real, man. Because I was lifting you
Yes,
up in
sir.
prayer. Send you that positive energy, man. You know what I'm saying, and
right.
and
Absolutely.
and staying positive. Hoping that everything would go well with you, and it did. You know what I'm saying. So that's a blessing.
Yeah,
Oh
thank
yeah.
you. Thank you for all your well wishes and prayers. They
Yeah,
definitely work.
brother.
And just like I told you, I plan on walking out of here. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. That is
That's
awesome,
what's
man.
up,
Okay.
bro.
You needed that. You needed that Friday night hip hop vigil. You know.
Yeah, I think that went over to the doctor. He must have heard me somewhere in the morning, and he came right in. He looked at me and was like, "You look like you ready to go home today." I was like,
Yes,
"Yeah."
sir.
It was
Yeah.
all that hip hop I listened to all night.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
that energy up, boy.
Hey, there it is. That's more that family loyalty, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
You know.
Hey,
Hey, man. Look, we got over 30 years, right? 30 plus years, man. You know what I'm saying. We back in '92. So to us to be able to have this bond. and still be able to communicate, you know what I'm saying, and reach out to each other, man, and support each other, and it don't have to be money and all of that stuff. Some people think that loyalty consists of money, money giving and stuff like that. It could Time is more valuable. You know what I'm saying? Support,
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
listening is more valuable. Calling somebody and talking to them is more valuable.
Exactly.
Texting, you know what I'm saying, is more valuable. You can show your loyalty in that way. You know what I'm saying? So there's many different aspects and many different ways you can show your loyalty to someone and provide that support to them, not just financially. You know what I'm saying? So people get it mixed up, man, when they put money into it. You know what I mean?
No, and
We
you're right.
mentioned in one of our earlier shows, man, that the most important thing that you can have is relationships, man. You
That's
Yeah.
know,
right.
because through your relationships, you can get money and all of that type of stuff, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Of course,
Yeah.
you got people who care about you and those types of things, man. So they want to see you succeed. And if it's
Trina, did you want to? We're live. You want
well,
I know you gotta somebody. Can you mute him?
You don't have to do that.
I got you. I got you. Hey, man, you gotta love it, boy. You gotta love it.
She's like,
Look,
turn that
man.
camera off. Turn that. What you doing? I
what
got
we
your
got doing?
medicine. We
Right.
couldn't wait to go live.
We're gonna
You
let
just
D
happy to
Cook
be
handle this
out.
business, you know.
Yeah, man.
But
Hey,
when you
all
live, baby,
praises,
that's how it go
man.
down. But yeah,
That's
but
what
Kid
I'm
No doubt.
Jones,
saying.
man, give us some
Go ahead.
perspective, man. Give us some perspective, man, on the loyalty
On the
aspect of
loyalty,
relationships.
yeah, I want to chime in, like what Brother Jack was saying, it's the family, right?
Yeah,
Like when I talk in aspects of spirituality, the first circle is spirit, the second circle is your household or your family, right? And
yeah,
then as we grow, that circle starts to expand, and at different stages in your life, we just look, we've talked about this on past shows that there should be some event that happens that we kind of share commonly. For us in North America, it's usually, kindergarten graduation to first grade, and
yeah,
then elementary to middle to high school to wherever you're going to go after high school, right? So it is, a very momentous occasion when you, like for us, we obviously went to the military, went to the army, we finished AIT. It was our first duty station that seemed to make a very lifelong lasting impression upon us. And
Wow.
I'm not just talking about the people y'all have seen on the show. I'm saying the whole extended 378th,
yeah.
1988 through like 94,
94,
Wow.
and about
95, yeah,
them 4 years, the people, the men and women that came through that unit developed lifelong friendships that
Exactly.
we have seen each other over the years. Sean had been in California, ran into Sean here, ran into Sean
yeah,
in Georgia, right? Met
yeah,
his brother, and so we kind of keep this Negro network, moving as well. And that's like one aspect of loyalty, right?
yeah,
And then I think somebody mentioned, it depends on that person's level of knowing themselves, and what they perceive as loyalty. Of course, if you grew up in a deprived situation, right, where your continual environment, you go to school with kids that ain't got milk and butter, you come home from school with kids who ain't got milk and butter, there's a loyalty amongst you guys too, because hey, we all are lacking the same way, right?
right,
Okay.
And therefore, relationships and bonds can be made at a young age between, groups of children that'll last their whole lives too, because we are those men and women as well. I'm sure you guys got friends that you've known, we call them our day ones or whatever, right? But it
right,
was
yeah,
something that jived in your spirit. It was something that jived in that person's spirit. You knew, maybe not the first time, because we make friends different ways. I got two of my best friends, they became friends from trying to fight in first grade. I'm gonna
right,
get you as soon as we're the boom. One hit the other one. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. You know what? I'd rather just be your friend. I don't really want to fight you, right?
right,
And
right,
have been friends ever since.
Okay.
They real this dude can hit a little hard, man. He hit back even harder. So they didn't want to fight.
yeah,
So like when we look at loyalty, that's one that for a long, time, I didn't use that term because I used to see, I think maybe the negative side of that, when we look at stuff like hip hop in the 90s, there was a lot of, to me, there was an affinity people had towards mafioso lifestyle. And
You don't need it.
Yeah.
bro, you need to mute yourself, David.
All
Thank
right, we
you.
got you. We gonna get D Cook
Somebody mute
together.
him. Where's the
Go ahead,
code
Kit.
on it? Everybody gonna know, man. Please do
Right.
not put out this brother's
No,
location.
no.
You know, come downstairs to Florida, the car will be
Ah,
gone. Don't be giving out no codes on the internet.
go ahead, Kit.
But yeah,
You was
I
saying,
think
man.
for us, especially us three on the phone, because we're stair steps, right? And
Right.
you guys may have seen this too. That I was saying, like in the '90s, there was this kind of desire that I saw from one of the most influential sources we had, which was the nigga news or hip hop, right? It was
Yeah.
in
Right.
our music, and it was a lot of
Kaboom. What's happening?
affinity.
Kaboom. Send a shout out to Kaboom saying hello to the fellas. You know what I'm saying?
All
Shout
right,
out.
all right.
Right.
Yeah.
Boom.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you for joining the Still Builder podcast. Yiddy.
Yeah, please post
Indeed.
questions if you have any too. Or, throw some comments on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kit.
But yeah, you know how people would uphold shit like Costa Nostra and Familia and all this. That a lot of that was a reflection of what number one they definitely weren't getting in their household, right?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
when you look at the clans or the cliques, you realize, hey, a lot of these people are actually related. These are bands of cousins, or these are bands of guys that went to school together, or these girls used to be in a group together. David Cook, we need you to mute your phone because we
All
can
right.
hear you,
Hold on. Hold
David.
on, Cook. Hold on.
A
Hold on. I'm gonna
Mountain
get
Dew.
Cook on. I'm gonna
Mountain
get him
Dew.
straight. Hold on a second. Okay. Go ahead.
Uh,
I gotta take a minute. Yeah, I don't want to know
hey,
what you
Oh,
want
Kaboom. That's
strawberry
Shelly.
jelly on you.
Yeah, that's Shelly. What's up, Shelly? You know what I'm saying? That's my sister
Word.
from Kemet. You dig? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Comedic
right
sister. You
on,
no
dig?
doubt.
right on,
Yo,
right on.
that what's up, Shelly? Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? Kemet
And
sister.
look, there's a form of loyalty that we see right there. You go, that's my comedic sister, right? That's
That's
somebody
right.
we definitely don't have no clue of who she is, but
Right.
she's kin to him, and there's a loyalty there. There's a friendship there, right? There's a sense of like
Yeah.
belonging, protection, ownership that comes along with that. So again, I was just saying, in the '90s, I kind of saw the negative aspect of that as far as like people looked at mafioso type families as, oh no, this is what loyalty is supposed to be based on, and we use their
Right.
terminology or whatever. And that was just because maybe the examples that we were giving each other may not have been the best examples. We definitely keep it hood. You guys know I'm on the left coast, so it was always gangsters paradise and that kind of thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And there was a loyalty, right? There was a loyalty because this was the family or the structure I'm not getting at home. This is what I'm not getting in my household, because of the
Right.
various reasons, because of the war on drugs and the war on you and me and all
Right.
of that stuff.
Yeah. So sometimes
I had to
y'all
give a
missing
pause. I had to
things.
give a pause.
Hey,
I didn't want to hear no extra voice in the background. You
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you want some raisins with that? Would you like some Jello, baby?
Cook,
Yeah,
is you
boy,
man.
straight,
so
man?
now.
Is you straight, Cook?
You got me on that, man. But look, it's been 30 days, man.
I know,
I
bro.
forgot I was married. It's crazy. Yeah. So I hear you
Hey,
on that. I was listening, trying to listen
Yeah,
while y'all were
yeah,
talking, but like the last comment you made, kid, like that's why we have a lot of problems because like the gangs
yeah,
and your so-called shady organizations know what loyalty is. They thrive
yeah.
off of it.
Yep.
right.
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 Loyalty and fear, whereas though families aren't loyal to each other.
Right.
Like
Right.
we have a lack of unity in the black community, except through certain kind of organizations, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so since they're loyal to them, you do this for me, little man, I'll break you off this. It doesn't have to always be for money, or I'll protect you. You got problems anywhere else? Come see me. and then that
Right.
just automatically builds a person's loyalty, especially a young person that their mind isn't fully formed and don't really know what they're getting into.
Yeah, man.
They're gonna grab it. They're gonna reach it. You know, if you starving to eat, and somebody say, look, if you take this over here, you know, you can eat this for a week. What you think they're gonna do?
Right.
Right.
You know,
And,
I was watching Tupac, Dear Mama, on Hulu, and he was talking about how he felt a sense of loyalty to Suge when he came out of jail. You know, Suge
Right.
was the only one that reached out to him, tried to get him out, pay his bail, and this, that, and third. So he felt a sense of loyalty to Suge, which a lot of people felt was dangerous. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
could have been detrimental to his life, which ultimately did, you know,
It
cost him
was.
his life.
Yeah. It
You know,
was.
So let's
go
talk
ahead, Jack.
about the trust factor in loyalty, right? And
Yeah,
I think that's what we're touching on right now, where when you have somebody to do something for you, you begin to build a trust in them, right?
yeah,
And a lot of people can manipulate you through your
Yeah.
loyalty
Yeah.
and cause you to do stupid things that you know you shouldn't be doing because, hey, I want to be loyal to this person. You know what I'm saying? I trust this person. They had my back, or they were the only ones that were there for me at that particular time.
Mm.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got to be
So,
careful, man, who you affiliate your or give your loyalty to. Like you were saying, man, that trust in loyalty is something very, it's a delicate line. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
people can be leading you down a path of destruction and you won't even realize it, you know, because you're being loyal to this person that you hung
mhm,
out with, or
mhm,
your day one person from your block, or, you know, these are the people that you have a trust in that are, you know, you put your life in their hands, and pretty much, you know, you trust them to make the right choice and decision and not put you in a compromising position, you know. So when you have a lot of the younger generation, they try to be loyal to their friends that they grew up with on their block, you know what I'm saying? And that could
right,
be detrimental because they could be going in a different direction that should not be, you know, where you, as you know, on your path, you should be trying to do something different. I'll tell y'all a quick story. So like, I was hanging with my boys and stuff in my block, 16 years old, right? We going to a party. So we in a basement party, like we always do. We kicking it, doing our thing. Now, your boys are supposed to have your back. They supposed to be the ones that's supposed to look out for you and, you know, make sure that you straight, you get home straight. You make sure you get home, everybody good. You know what I'm saying? So you watch your back, I got your back, we good to go. So I go to this party, I go all the way to back of the room, and they down in the basement chiefing. You know what I'm saying? Puff, puff,
Hmm.
passing. I get in the circle. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Because I knew this one cat who I went to school with, right? So I saw him, man. He took me to the back. We go to the back room, you know, we chiefing and everything like that. So my boys who I came with, you know, they was in the party too, just moving around through the crowd, doing their thing, you know, socializing, whatever. So one of my boys came and found me. And he found me in the back room. And he said, "Hey man, come here, man." He saw me in the room. He came to the door. He said, "Hey man, come here." I said, "Man, what's up?" You know, I'm in the middle of chiefing. You know what I'm saying? He pulled me outside and he said, "Yo, man, what is you doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? We sell this, man. We don't use it." And I said,
Mm.
"What?" He said, "That ain't what we do." You know what I'm saying? He like, you know, so he was putting me on game like, nah, you not a user, you're the seller, you know, because back then I was selling weed, you know what I'm saying? So that was just what I was
right,
doing, you know, I was like the plug, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
so he was like, "Nah, man, that's not what we do. I mean, we drink and everything like that, but we ain't using." So he pulled me up out of that. And I never, from that point on, I never did smoke ever again at 60
Mm.
from 16 years
right.
old. I never smoked weed again. But when I retire, you know what I'm saying? You best believe I'm back
Yeah, I'm
on
gonna start smoking
chief.
again.
Yeah,
Just like
I'm back on
Smokey ass. When he leave, I start. Yeah.
yeah. When he leave, I'm back on it
I'm
again.
gonna start smoking again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that loyalty was that support that he saw me in that compromised position. He didn't know what kind of
Exactly.
effect it would have on my
Yeah.
life. And I'm glad
Yeah.
he was there to help me because he didn't know how weak I would have been in that circumstance. There's certain people that can do it and and maintain themselves, and there's certain people that cannot. And they just go over the deep end and they end up being like strung out, addicted. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Absolutely.
So
See,
everything ain't for everybody. You see what I'm
right.
saying? So yeah, what's
So
that? So
check
my
this
point.
out, man.
Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
If you got somebody on your team, right,
Yeah,
that's a little bit to the left, I'll say, okay,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, or they might be a gangster from the streets or whatever the case, right? The thing is, as young people, man, they have to realize that even though they're loyal to that person, you know what I'm saying, that person also has to be loyal to them, right?
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you're not respecting my boundaries and the things that I do, then you're not really loyal to me. If you're trying to pull me over to your side and you know that's not the side for me,
Yeah.
then you know what I'm saying? There's no loyalty in that, man.
right. There's no that
You know,
because see that person is trying to cause you to be something that you should not be, and put you in a compromised position to make you fall. You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
their
hmm
Yeah.
entertainment. For their entertainment, they'll laugh and joke and ha he ha ha. But that particular point in your life could cause you to go so deep into
Yeah.
a hole that you can't pull yourself
absolutely.
up out of. You see what I'm
You
saying?
know, it's funny. This is something that I don't know if y'all remember, like being a kid and being given a little bit of beer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or, being around like as I got older, especially when I left the military, I didn't like that shit. I'd be at a party or something and here's a toddler and everybody laughing because he taking a 40 to the head. I'm like, that is not
Okay,
funny,
yeah.
man. Like
No.
you
Right.
don't want that baby to like it. You know what I'm saying? It used to be
Exactly.
give it was just an adage. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but there was a saying like if you give him a little when they're young, he ain't gonna like it when he get older, right? Well,
Right. Yeah.
Right.
as we learn, alcoholism isn't just an addiction, it's also genetic for some people being predisposed, and then your psychosocial behavior and what environment you're reared in also gives you, a propensity to do something, right? If I'm
Right.
around a
hmm
Yeah.
bunch of crackheads, both parents are crackheads, I got crack pipes all around me, yeah, I might become a crackhead because the shit is right here, right?
Right.
So, kind of seeing things like that, I would be around people, and usually it was me at a party with some girl, we going to her cousin, Shanae having a party, right? Oh, girl, we having a party. And everybody think it's funny because little Momo, little Anthony over here taking a deuce to the head. And I'm like, yo, man, that's not funny. And y'all shouldn't be laughing like that, right? But
Right.
then
Yeah.
part of me realized, hey, this is how they behave because
Right.
this is how they were reared, right? They're behaving this way because this is how they've been, inducted into something to behave the same way. So, just sharing that, and I know we got to fix audio in the background.
No,
Yeah. Yeah. That's cooked.
exactly. That's me, and I'll mute it myself and unmute it myself. I'm going to get off. I apologize for all the disruption. I
It's
really
cool,
didn't
bro.
know that I was getting out of
Yeah.
the hospital today, so this all
I'm
came at
glad you
one
joined us,
time.
brother. Thank you
I,
for
I,
joining us.
I
Absolutely.
didn't. I was going to join, but I was going to join through the quiet of my hospital room.
Yeah.
It's easy to
Right.
see
Yeah.
where a nurse comes in, but now I have
Right.
the distractions of life.
Yeah,
So
man.
I don't
Yeah.
want to waste anybody's time, any of the listeners' time, or anybody of that
So what
nature. And I
what you think,
apologize.
Cook, man? You ever had a situation, man, where you was compromised or your position was compromised out of loyalty?
No, because I've always considered myself as a leader. So I've never been a follower. So I was always willing to make the hard right instead of easy left. So you're
Yeah.
not going to compromise me if I don't want to do it, if I don't think it's right. Now I'm not going to say that I wasn't influenced, and
Yeah.
Kit used the uh, 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 a crack analogy. Well, yeah, I, I I have met some people that love certain kind of drugs that influenced me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say again,
Yeah.
if you got this, then I could do this. So yeah,
Right.
Hmm.
it kind of works the same way. But
Hmm.
you know,
But see, it's
I
because, like, when you
I,
know yourself, then you kind of know your limitations, right? If
right,
you
yeah,
guys pay attention, the brother said, "Hey, I know me. I'm more of a leader. I'm nobody's follower."
right,
So it's
Right.
harder.
right,
It's harder for a person who knows certain aspects of themselves to kind of get caught in that okey doke situation. You
right.
know,
Right.
when he finished, I'll share one with you that made me say, "Yeah, man. Like, you got to ask more questions, nigga. Just don't walk up and let me hit that." Right? One of them
Right. Yeah.
situations, right?
Yeah.
Where
Okay.
That's
you're
what
like,
that's what
"Whoo."
I did. I walked up in because I knew this dude from school. You know what I'm saying? Let's go in. We in the back. We in the back room, man. Chief it. I ain't know what
Yeah,
they had it laced with. You did. I was like, puff, puff, pass. Let's go.
yeah,
Okay.
man.
Hey,
That
two
So,
was
quick
it.
ones, man. One
yeah, all
time,
right.
I was dating this girl, man, and
So Ken, hold on, Jack. Excuse me, man. I'm sorry.
okay,
I'm apologizing again. I'm gonna cut off, and I'm sorry for
oh no, no,
this
brother,
time
take
around.
care, man.
I apologize, and we
absolutely.
will. I will see you on the other side,
For
on
sure, brother. Yeah,
an
For
acquired
sure.
space.
yeah. You don't have to apologize, brother. It's comic relief
Not
for
at all.
us. Shit, you know what we do? We just gonna clown out of it, man. Ain't no
Right.
hard feelings. Shit. I'm
Right.
just
do
glad you
do
didn't.
what we do.
I'm
And my
glad we didn't
wife
see a
is
Absolutely.
backhand coming across the screen.
no backhand. She's actually sincerely apologizing also because she didn't
It's all
It's
love,
all
brother.
love,
realize
Oh
what
man.
she
It's
yeah,
all
did.
Yeah,
love.
definitely
It's all
all love,
it's
good.
bro.
all
All
love,
right.
brother.
All
Yeah.
All
good.
right. All right. Peace. Peace be
Peace
unto
out,
you.
big
Hey,
brother.
All right,
All right.
bro.
Same to you,
Peace,
bro.
man.
All
Peace.
right.
For sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
So
go ahead,
yeah,
Jack. You
man.
were saying, man.
Yeah. Look, I called myself trying to manipulate this girl, man. I was like, hey, if you love me, then you'll have sex with me. She said, if you love me, then you won't ask me to. I was
Right.
like, oh,
That blew your mind right there. You like,
Like,
yeah,
dang it.
she
She done
just,
turned it around on
listen,
me.
just shut that all
listen.
down right quick,
Yeah,
right? But
Just
then,
shut it
listen.
so,
down.
to trust in people, man. Had a guy, man, that I was hanging out with when I was in Huntsville, man, with my brother. I was probably about 15 at the time, and this dude was 21, man. He's in the military. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were on the Arsenal, Redstone Arsenal, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Over there close to the base. And at the time, man, I was smoking marijuana, man. I asked him to go get me some stuff, man. And he brought me some stuff, man. I don't know where he got it from, but it had me tripping, boy.
Mm,
And my other guy, man, cause just like now, it was three of us in the crew, man. My man Fish, he came, he saw me, man. I was at the skating rink and I was bugging, boy. Fish is like,
mm.
hey, yo, come on, man, come get you some water. You know what I'm saying? Come here, let me. And
Yeah.
so he hooked me up, man. He told me, he's like, man, no, yo, you should trust that nigga Shorty, man.
Right.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to trust that nigga Shorty.
He ain't had your best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man.
Hey, that's always that sneaky name, man. Somebody named
Right.
Shorty, like
Shorty. A nigga named Shorty.
that mean your nickname wasn't even quality. Shorty is like the anybody littler than you. A
Right.
girl is Shorty. So if
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
nickname somebody Shorty, that's because you really didn't have too many other attributes they could look at. But what is short, right?
Right. That's it. Right. Ain't nothing else
At
more to
least
say about him.
yeah,
Yeah.
the,
Ain't
the
nothing more to
fastest
say
the
about
hey, the fastest little nigga get the nickname like Speedy, but if you get Shorty, man, it wasn't really that good about you to begin with.
him. Right. From
Well,
the
he's short.
beginning.
Yeah, we can
From
say
the
that good about him.
beginning. Yeah.
He's short.
Now, Ken,
Ain't
man, you
no
were
doubt.
saying there's something about you wanted to drop a story on us,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Man.
yeah. Just about that, like how again, like you do stupid shit, you get stupid prizes, right?
Right.
Um, again, I'm jovial, hey, Friday night just got paid, party's jumping, right?
Yeah.
Um, go by my homie's house, and he was a little bit more into recreational drugs than myself, right? My shit was weed.
Yeah.
But it was one of those, hey, you want to smoke this joint with me? And first mine was, where you get it from? Then he tells me who he got it from. I'm like, nah, he smoked them primos, his shit got cracking and I'm cool. No. He said this regular weed,
Yeah. He
and
got it
so I
from
look at
Shorty.
it.
From Shorty.
Exactly. The shit is lumpy, and I'm like, nah, again, not listening to First Mind, which said don't even mess with it, But hey, I'm a superstar, you know what I'm saying? Airborne, qualify, all this shit. Everybody just dirty, nasty leg to me. Fuck it, I'll smoke it, right?
Right.
So he lights it, passes it to me. I'm like, this don't smell like weed,
Right.
Go back a couple
Something ain't right.
times, and about the third time it got past to me, man, I outed it, break it open. It's got crack rocks all in it, right? Got cracks
Mm,
all through it. I'm like, man, And so, of course, the homie is apologetic, right? Oh, I didn't know he told me it was, but then in my head, I'm like, well, that's kind of what you get because, you know what he does, and right.
right.
So I'm not mad at him, right? But what
Yeah.
had me confused was, I had an upper and a downer at the same time. So I didn't know if I wanted to take a nap or run a marathon, right? I'm like, damn, do I need
Your ass going crazy.
yeah,
You
what?
going You're like, what the hell over there? I'm up. No, I'm dead.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
dead.
no, I'm down. What? No, no, I'm up, no, no, right? This shit
No,
gonna
I'm
wear
dead.
off sooner or later. It's gonna wear off sooner or later, right? I'm just
I
gonna go
can't do no
outside
joint
for a
like that,
minute, right? I'm gonna go stand outside,
man. Yeah.
And the thing is, me and him still laugh about that to this day, But again, it's that like loyalty, and then you kind of, there's a saying you got to go through it to get to it, right? Like you
Exactly.
gotta you gotta live a little bit. You have to, especially for our youth, we always say this message is for you. Um,
Yeah.
you're gonna make mistakes, But the whole
Yes.
thing is getting your ass back up off the ground, dust your knees off, let's fix your boo-boos. Here's a band-aid, put a little alcohol, whatever on it. Here's some Neosporin, it'll heal over time, and get your
Yeah.
ass back out there and finish playing, right? So,
Right.
Right.
you're gonna make mistakes, right? But that loyalty thing and that trust issue, please don't let that be like a cancer for you where, you become fixated with trying to surround yourself with like a loyal posse or whatever. I got to have these people because, just my personal motto. I'm the OMG. I'm the one man gang, Like I don't
Yeah.
need a posse with me. The posse will assemble based on what the necessity of the posse is for, So even
Right.
when I'm by myself, I'm not by myself,
Roll dolo from state to state.
For
Hey,
You know what
sure,
I'm
for sure.
so check this out, man. Little information, hopefully, for somebody. I take my grandson, man, to the playground and park and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I pick him up from school. And of course, he's 3 years old, man. So he thinks everybody is his friend, right?
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah.
So what I do, man, I get out there and I let him go. I monitor, you know what I'm saying, what he's doing, and
Right.
Yeah.
let him actually build friends and stuff, man, and see how people react to him. You know what I'm saying, so that he can learn to develop the skills that he need in order to build friendships and loyal relationships and things of that nature, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to Tara in the chat room. Also, man, Shelly. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tara. Appreciate you for joining us. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and give us a question if you want us to answer something for you on this show. We'll do it right here live right now. You did. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as well. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tara. Appreciate you for joining us. So Dig, man. So we got a question, man, in the chat right here. So, Shelly put down there for those that applies to, but our current disloyalty stems from subconsciously modeling after the actions of our racist oppressors.
Mm.
Hmm.
See, that couples with what Jack said it first, but knowing yourself, right?
Yeah,
When a person approaches something like that too, and thank you for the question, the proof is in the pudding though, right? It's knowing like, am I influenced or swayed this way because of the oppressive, systemic society that I live in, or is this just an excuse for me to continue doing something the wrong way, right?
Right.
So when you know yourself, right? When you know yourself, everyone's at a different scale, everyone's at a different level, right? But part of that
mhm,
personal assessment is, at the end of the day, hey, was I a follower or was I a leader today? Right? Did I
yeah,
cower down in the face of adversity or did I embrace change? Right? So like there's different aspects that we're supposed to gauge ourselves by as an individual. Ain't got shit to do with the group. It's you as the individual, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So as an example, right? Like I was in Frankfurt before you guys got there, right? I came back from Gießen, I got paired up with Jack. But
Right.
Sean, when you got there, we were already there. There was
Right.
this thing of like friendship, right? Where we made ourselves friendly to
Right.
gauge how this other person kind of, hey man, you got a lot of obstacles against you. You're in a foreign country, you walk away too far, you might get lost. You know, how the hell you gonna get back? You don't learn, you don't know the language yet, whatever, right? So
Right.
you already have, you know, strangers in a strange land around strange people that are being friendly to them, right? Hey, I know you need, right? And they, what, you know, you guys remember me, I had a wall locker that had all kind of show. You need a gas mask, here you go, right?
Right.
And then start
All
to,
right. Yeah.
Everything.
don't just, you better not just leave that over there, pick it up. Somebody gonna want to buy it back, right? When we get back, you find out, yeah, half the people ain't got gas masks and they all in Kids Locker, right?
Yep.
But that was
Supply
done.
side.
That was done because I received that kind of love. You know what I'm saying? Like when I got there, there was somebody to go, hey man, people lose stuff. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you find it because they gonna need it. Not to sell it back to you, but just to
Right.
make sure you weren't short, right? And if I
Right.
was ever short something, I knew I could go to you guys. Hey Jack, you know, just over the wall like a Jack. Yo, you got
Yep.
some shaving cream, right? Like, hell,
Right.
you gotta throw some condoms
Yeah.
over here, right?
All
Whatever the
Right.
situation was,
No doubt. But hey, bro. Wow.
I'm
yeah,
telling you,
man, we
man. So
leaned we
yeah, man.
leaned
So it's
on each other. We leaned on each other. We had to build that we built a system of trust, right? That
Right.
when new people came in, they fell right into it. You know, it wasn't even like, you know, because eventually all you guys ETS or you cycled out, you PCS, you went somewhere else, but there was somebody that was new at one point that was at
yeah.
that stage where you saw he and she were
Right.
still carrying on that same kind of, nah, they knew I got housing. You should come to my, you know, it's Thanksgiving, come to our house, you know, right? Like
Yeah.
what eating at the mess hall on Thanksgiving? No, I went to somebody's house, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because we had circles of loyalty, because we had circles of trust, because we had friendships, families that we had developed with other soldiers that we didn't know from Adam. But once we got there, they embraced us, right? And that was
Right.
people of all ethnicities, man, because deep down inside, we all bled army green. It wasn't, you know,
Right.
it wasn't even a
Yeah.
racist thing, you know. There were situations, we had situations, you know, we still get into it with Pat Jeffries and whatnot, you know.
Right.
That's still my brother. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
If
No
Pat
doubt.
were to need something and he asked, I would still, you know, look out for my brother, right? So we should have a racist reunion show where we bring like Pat on and all the, you know,
Hey,
all
look,
the
check it out,
MAGA.
man. So look, so look, check it out. So Shelly hit us with another one. She said, was just debating about how a majority of our disloyalty stems from being sold by our own in the motherland.
Mm,
But that wasn't the story for all slaves. And then she goes
true,
on to say
true.
that most of us who are woke are aware of that, but it's
Right.
those that are asleep that create
That is
issues for the
still,
rest of us. How
yeah,
do
it
we
still makes
bridge
that gap.
that gap?
Yeah, it still makes that gap. I don't want to try to take over the whole conversation, but something that came to mind, and I've said this to people before, is like sometimes you got to transform your mind into the time frame that we speaking of, right? So
Hmm.
Yeah,
consider any period in history. It's one thing to say, well, you know, black people sold other black people into slavery. Hell, nigga, you know that's gonna happen, right?
Right.
right,
Um, because they lived in an environment where that was condoned, right? Now,
right,
Hmm.
again, you know, I come of Bokongo ancestry, right? My people, some come from the Congo, right? And when I started my spiritual journey, I went through a bunch of different stages, right? But
hmm,
when I started learning the history of like the Congo and when Christianity came into the Congo and this whole thing, I realized, well, hell, you know, all of these thoughts originated from the original man and the original woman, right? So we had to do it for them to
Right.
mimic it anyway. We were
Yeah.
already doing it, right? That doesn't
Right.
make it right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah.
And the same way we have, crazy Floridians and other people who run around talking about Ciara T, and if you are
Yeah.
Herschel Walker, CTR, right? But you have people that feel like, oh, well, we don't want certain things taught because it's gonna make kids feel bad. All of this bullshit. It's not even being taught on that level. We know that, right? But
Right.
it's like the sister was saying, we got to look beyond that, because what happened, but we're
Right.
here now. We're here now. Historically, our DNA for Negroes in North America is not 100% by way of cargo slave ship from the west coast of Africa, from the, Goree Island through the gate of no return to Jamestown, Virginia. Not
Right.
all of us got here that way. And I
Yeah.
give a simple challenge to anyone who's done a DNA test. When you start realizing, oh, wait a minute, it looks like, maybe this third great ancestor here was not even from this country. They probably
Right.
came from the West Indies, or they came from somewhere in the Caribbean, right?
Exactly.
Or Central or South America. So we can't put all of our stake into triangular slave trade that led us to North America, where a great percentage of your DNA was either here or it came
Right.
from someplace else before it ended up here, right? So, you know,
Right.
if anything, that should be that weight off of our chest as people of color, that we weren't all slaves. And don't ever believe that we were all slaves, because a lot of you come from grandparents and great grandparents that had hundreds of acres, and white people was coming to them to buy cotton, coming to them to buy flour, coming to them to buy
Look,
sugar, right? Coming to them to get horses and whatnot. So, our history is way beyond just that little disruption, right? Slavery was just
absolutely.
disruption in our history.
Right.
Let me
And
Go
state,
a
ahead.
lot of us,
man.
we have European roots as well, like she said on it. We have European roots as well, because
Yeah.
Africans were in Europe. Africans were all over
Yep.
the
Yes.
globe. Africans were
Yes.
everywhere until the mutation of the albino occurred. So that's
Yes.
where
This
you get
planet is
the
yours,
white.
man.
Yeah, that's
So
where you get the
not to
white race
mention,
from.
right? Two
Go ahead,
quick
Jack.
things. Africa is an entire continent, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it has several countries in it, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Right.
Just
And
like the United States.
absolutely, in conjunction with that, right? You even in families, right? In families, not everybody is in agreement totally.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And survival mode kicks in some instances, man. And self-preservation is above everything.
Yep.
Right.
You know? And that's how a lot of people live their lives. You know what I'm saying? Out on the street and in a day to day, on a day to day basis. Self-preservation above everything.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
man.
That's the first
man.
instinct. That's the very
Yep.
first instinct is self-preservation.
Mhm.
You know
Yep.
what I'm
So
saying?
when
Survival of the
that's
fit.
yep, when that self-preservation kicks in, man, sometimes loyalty is out the window.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. You're only
Yeah.
loyal to a certain extent.
All
I'm
right.
telling you, hey, I got to get mine. You got to get yours. You know what I'm saying? So that type of thing.
Man. I can't
But
tell you
that's a
how
good
many
segue,
times,
man.
you go
Go
to
ahead. Go
fight,
ahead.
and then look what Jack said there. Remember, reminded me a couple times, cats show up to fight, and, words start getting exchanged. And you look back and you the only one standing there, like everybody else had enough. Hey man, we
Right.
gone, right?
Okay.
Hey
They want
man,
no
y'all
smoke.
supposed to be yeah, hey, we don't want no parts of that, man.
No smoke.
Yeah.
Not at all. They ain't trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? But
But
that's a good segue, man. That's a good segue into our next part of our topic, which is reparations, man. We talking about the transatlantic slave trade that occurred, to African people into this continent here in America, United States. We talking about having the reparations part, we were saying in California where they were going to vote on it, right? So the
Yeah.
vote, I think it's going to stem in what, June, July, or something like that. Kid, because you in California right now, and we had
Yeah.
a discussion about it recently about the possibility of reparations being a real thing and occurring in this country, if possible, if it is possible. You know what I'm saying? So right now they have the Native Americans, which they call the Native Americans, which we know who they really truly are, not native to this land. But you know what I'm
Right.
saying? They getting paid right now. I think they get a check every month of like what, 3,500 to 5,000 a month or something like that to
Hmm.
that effect, that they get just for being, a part of that group, a
Yeah.
part of that loyal group. You know what I'm saying? So they maintain their loyalty to their group, which is affiliated with that, and then they get compensated based on their loyalty to that group. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
By
Right.
this country. So at the same time, Africans who were, diaspora into this country never received any monetary, what I'm saying, compensation for the atrocities that their ancestors had gone through in this country. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
looking at it from
They
that
labor
perspective,
and
the
provide.
reparations, yeah, the reparations has to occur. I think it's very much so that we need to have reparations for our people. You know what I'm saying? And what we do with that reparations is very important. You know what I'm saying? That we don't just stimulate or re-stimulate the economy and give it
Yeah.
right back.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Buying stupid junk. So we are the most largest consumers of products and goods. Africans are. If you go
Mhm.
anywhere, travel anywhere, you're going to see a lot of black folks going to the market, and then you see all the white folks going to do those adventure tours and all of that stuff like that. Whenever I go anywhere and I travel
When you
anywhere doing
travel,
excursions, yeah, I
yeah.
do excursions because I'm an adventurous type of guy. You know what I'm saying? I like to do things, you know what I'm saying, rock climbing or,
Yeah.
parasailing or whatever, jet skis and all of that. I be mainly pretty much one of the only two black people on the tour. But
Right.
if you go into the market, you're gonna see all of us black folks in there shopping and giving away our money. So that's
Oh
Hmm.
what
yeah,
we do.
no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? We shop. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knows that we shop. Not only our people, but Asians know we shop, Hispanics know we shop, Arabs know we shop. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we
Right.
got gas stations, Arab gas stations in the hood. We got Chinese, you know what I'm saying, restaurants in
Selling,
the hood.
selling rap snacks. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you know what I'm saying? We got,
Okay.
Mexican
Got them
restaurants
rap
in the
snack chips.
hood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you don't never see a black
A
African
soul
store
food
in
restaurant.
a soul
Yeah.
food restaurant in their neighborhoods. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Because they not going to patronize our neighborhoods. So
It's
in
funny
that
we do
respect,
here though. Here in Cali,
see,
yeah,
yeah,
they patronize that, and I have a friend through my ex-wife. She did that Nigerian hookup. She married a guy in college so he can get his citizenship. And then
yeah,
they fucked around and fell in love and had a couple kids, but they moved back to Nigeria. And she noticed, nobody cooks soul food, right? And you're like, well, damn, what you cook? What are you cooking that's so different? She's like, man, I fry chicken. And I'm
right,
like, really? But on the
yeah,
side of her house, they just,
Right.
she started frying chicken and making. She's, Creole, right? So she started making Cajun food, Creole food, and
yeah,
she has a little restaurant that they just hang out on the side of her house after work type business. And she's like, man, I'm never going back to the States. She actually comes back to, check on her daughters to let them go to high school here. But other than
yeah,
that, the girl Heaven piece of the big piece, shout out to Heaven.
yeah,
Sister was like, man, I'm never coming back there, right? So,
right,
you know, it's funny, like you said, when you travel and you pay attention, you do see patterns repeat themselves, right? Because yeah, you go
yeah,
to the marketplace, you see all of us. You get out here and you talk about going on a cave diving tour or something. You ain't, how many people of color you gonna find other than a tour guide, right?
right.
Okay.
You ain't gonna see too many of them, man. I'm telling you.
No
You'll
sir.
see, my black ass though. You'll see you in there, right? Because
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
I'm that adventurous dude too, and I tell when I'm in Belize, we go cave diving, Jaguar Pod. I got to go to my next trip, but I went to caves down there. Go to the ruins. I want to see what my people trampled on before me, right?
That's right. That's right.
So
Shout
yeah,
out
for
to
most black
Priest
people,
in the
man,
chat, you know what I'm saying, in the show. Man, appreciate the love and support, you know what I'm saying, cuz, you know what I'm saying, check the replay out. That's what I'm saying, man. So I ain't gonna interrupt Kid, but I wanted to re-emphasize, to the people, man, out there, you know what I'm saying, showing love. I really do appreciate y'all support for watching the show, man, and participating in the show, and catching the replay and everything like that. Shout out to y'all, man. Big Tony. Shout out to Big Tony out there too, you know what I'm saying? Much love. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, man. We got another guest on the line. Hold on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Staff in the building.
Yeah,
Period.
What
yeah.
up,
What's up, Big
Staff?
Staff? Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Big Staff? What's going on with it, baby?
I'm here, man. I'm here.
Let's get his microphone right. Let's get his microphone right. I'm gonna turn you way up. All the way up. Can we hear you?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear
man.
you now, man. I can
Yeah.
hear you now, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, Big Staff, man. We was talking about loyalty, man, and reparations, man, and we just broke off into reparations, man. And we talking about how, America owes us the bread, man, from our ancestors, enduring the atrocities, man, from this nation. Some of the things that we went through. There's a vote that's going to be happening in California, the state of California, coming up in the next few months. And they're going to put it on the ballot to vote for reparations. And that's the first I've heard of anything on the ballot in the United States. California probably is going to lead the way in this,
Yeah.
situation. And if they are able to successfully pass this law and be able to receive reparations in the state of California, which other states are going to follow suit, and actually go on and start giving the reparations to their, residents in those states as well. Then I also heard, a law that was trying to be passed in Mississippi, where you at, Jack, where they trying to reinforce the Jim Crow law again. So it's a lot
Yeah,
of different
man.
things, man, that's going on in this country. A lot of different dynamics, man. You know what I'm saying? And reparations is something that is very much needed for our people.
It
Well,
is. It is.
guess what? Guess what? That thing is that it's happening right now in Jamaica. Yo, you guys know I'm from Jamaica originally, and
Yeah.
it, it, it's at the parliament right now where Jamaican government say, hey, it's time for us to get our repatriation money because y'all came here and y'all took it all from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's time to pay up. So it's on the plate right now in Jamaica.
So did Jamaica ever regain their independence, man, from the British?
Yeah. We gained independence, but now they're trying to go republic.
Okay.
Yeah. See, throughout most of the like the Caribbean, under like they still a lot of countries still recognize the queen as the head of state, right? So
Exactly.
when
Right.
Right.
I'm home in Belize, all the money still got the queen on it, right? So once the queen transitioned and they made, Chucky the new king, especially with
Right.
him getting coronated recently, that also fostered that community or that excuse me, that conversation throughout every previous British territory throughout the whole old kingdom, right?
Right.
That
Yeah.
same shockwave went out where everyone's like, yo, we don't, not only are, did we demand our independence, now you need to start repaying the stuff you stole.
Exactly.
So it's
Give it
it's
back.
not just America, it's everyone. Yeah, everyone is feeling that right now. It's that push to, hey, here's an opportunity to make it right while you're dying off.
Right.
It's your time to make it right. Because you see
Yeah.
it, what we do, what we do is, you know what? Well, we can't beat them, but we can outbreed them. So,
Yes.
Right.
we'll
Yes.
slide a Megan in there on you. We'll slide a little agent in here now and then. Oh yeah, let's bring some more melanin into their family tree. Just that's my threat to all of them. We'll just outscrew you. We'll disappear you.
Hey, what they say they on what Jimmy said, super sperm.
Sperm.
Hey, man. But look, seriously, I thought reparations was just a comedian's joke, man.
I
You know
know,
what I'm
right?
saying?
Right,
Look,
Jack. Just like
that's
a
all
black
I had to
president,
do.
right? It was just
Right?
like a black president. I never thought I would see one in my lifetime. I really didn't care. I look at reparations the same way. Maybe if I have that same attitude towards reparations as I had to a black president, we'll end up getting it. Right?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
like
Hey,
the
man, they call
opposite.
it manifestation, bro.
Yeah,
Manifestation.
brother.
You manifest that into
Listen,
your thoughts and bring it into your reality, bro. You know what I'm
Bob
Indeed.
saying?
Marley, Bob Marley sang that years ago, and Bob Marley been dead for how many years now? Bob Marley
Yeah,
said,
man.
"Look, repatriation is a must.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Is a must. So
A
no matter
must.
Yes.
how they slice and dice it, it's gonna happen."
Yeah, man.
Because see, the reparations, man, will actually not only benefit our people, but how we use those monies will be very important of how we, grow and expand as a people. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Not just to give it back to the economy and re-stimulate, like they did with the PPP loans and all of that stuff like that. We're
Right.
talking
Right.
about actually generational wealth. A lot of people don't like to use
Exactly.
that term. They don't like to use generational wealth. But when you're
I
talking
use
about
it.
the next, you know, generation that's coming up behind us
Mhm.
need to have a
Yeah, man.
foundation in which for us to pass on to them because they don't have anything. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We don't manufacture anything. We don't create stuff. You know what I'm saying? We don't have like the hair industry should be ours. You know what I'm saying? The music
Right.
industry should be ours. The
Yeah.
sports
Right.
industry should be ours. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about different aspects of generational wealth that you can produce as a people, you know what I'm saying, that can be
Mhm.
financially gained that your people can go into and provide a service. And if you're looking at the Hispanic community, they're rising up right now, not only with the numbers, but they also provide the,
Yeah.
labor,
Economic. Yeah.
the labor
Mhm.
that they use, you know what I'm saying? So all the Hispanic, they are very smart. They collectively come together and they stay loyal to their people, their culture. And then they
Right.
come in and they provide, a service that they are proud to provide. They're not ashamed to
Mhm.
get their hands
Mhm.
dirty. They're not
Mhm.
Right.
afraid to get their hands dirty. They're going to do the jobs that you think that you're too good to do. And they're going to go and build your houses. They're going to cut your grass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're going to do the landscaping. They're going to make sure that they take care of your car. They doing a lot of stuff in this country. You know what I'm saying? And they're feeding you through restaurants, all that type of stuff. But black folks are not loyal to each other to an extent to be able to provide that type of service. And when we get those reparations, what are we going to do with the money?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, let me see if I can paint a quick picture right quick, Sean. Uh, so white people have inheritance, right?
Yeah.
Based on what their forefathers did, their parents, so on and so forth, right? So
Hmm.
our people in America, most of the black people were slaves, never got paid, free labor, right?
Right.
So reparations is our inheritance that we never got from our forefathers and our parents. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So now
Hmm.
here's an opportunity for us to get that inheritance where
Hmm.
we can build that generational wealth that everybody talks about. So that's what that is all about, an inheritance. That's what a generational wealth is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the question has always been, do we give them 40 acres and a mule? Do we give them, remember this country broke every goddamn treaty they made with the Aboriginal and indigenous people of this country, right? Like every treaty they made, they broke the treaty, right?
Yeah.
So
No
when
loyalty.
I shared it in our group chat, the other evening about the amount of reparation cases the U.S. government has paid, right? Starting all the way back in 73, and most of those cases were actually people in Massachusetts of all places. So, you know, that an important question was posed earlier. Well, hey, if this passes in California, who may be next to follow suit? I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised if Massachusetts didn't jump on because they actually have some of the earliest cases of reparations being paid, and they were being paid out to people who were formerly enslaved. When the
Mm.
slave owner died, their land was sold. The money did not go to the slaves. The slaves petitioned the government. The government said, yeah, and they set them up on a stipend, right? You're going to receive this money for the rest of your life. Every month, we're going to give you this amount of money, right?
Mm.
Um, and again, there's some funkiness that went down. For those that know a little bit of Moorish American history or know history before 1776, before the Declaration of Independence was drawn up, there was also a declaration that was drawn up in 1775 that started to put the color scheme into place, right?
Mhm.
So every person that was dark became Negroid, right? Every
Right.
person that was reddish color became um, Indian, right? And they started to divide people like that, where before, according to treaties, they called people by their native names, right? They called them by the
Right.
names that they encountered them under.
Right.
So You know, my Negroes in America, just know that 2/3 of your DNA may have already been in this hemisphere, right? Just in this
Yeah.
hemisphere. It doesn't mean that they were out here in Pocahontas and all that crap, but the institution of slavery began before we made it to Jamestown, Virginia, right? The
Yeah.
institution began way back in the 1400s as far as transatlantic slave trade. So some of you come from South American ancestry. Some
Mm,
Negroes come from people that were here in Brazil and Suriname and throughout the Southern Hemisphere or the East Indies, and those people migrated this way as well. And we had a
right.
huge influx, a West Indian invasion in the late 1800s, right?
Right.
So you know, here in North America, like 1/3 of your genealogy may be of slave ancestry. And so that's why, like with this thing in California, I find it interesting because I wasn't born here, but I definitely lived here since I was months old, right? My birth
Right.
certificate shows Baltimore, but I have lived in California since I was like, you know, before I was even 1 years old. My parents moved here. And, you know, so when it comes to like how they're going to pay the money out, how long you've been here, you know, yeah, it looks like the upper end of it would be like $1.5 million, right? But
Mm,
trust me, they ain't gonna get no nigga no money, right? It's just
right.
like
Yeah.
Rick James said, they shouldn't have gave y'all niggas no money. No, they're not gonna give you money.
Right.
They're not gonna give you money. What they're gonna do is they're gonna set up programs, and it was what Dr. Claude Anderson pinned into law when he wrote the Equal Opportunity Rights Bill, right? Or when he
Yeah.
wrote the other one that I can't remember offhand. We got EEO, and then we have the other one, but the Civil Rights Bill. When those bills were written, that was designed to give reparations to the Negro in North America, right? To undo the redlining that had gone, you know, down to we're veterans. You know, when vets came back from World War I, if you were Negro, World War I, World War II, you were redlined. You couldn't buy the house you were promised to build, you know,
Right.
off of your
Right.
GI Bill. But then you had to watch your other um, ethnic groups begin to prosper, right? And they're building
Right.
communities, and you're being told, "Nah, y'all got to stay on that side of the tracks, right? No, this is for you." So, you know, that was shit that went on for like generations. So where there were programs designed to compensate and to put you where you were supposed to be, they made white women minorities, they made Latinos minorities, right? They made
Right.
Asians minorities. So, and this is nothing against, you know, our other people, just know that you sucked up those shit that was supposed to go to us, right? That same 14% of America that was supposed to receive it, their 14% of compensation went to the greater majority and not to that lesser minority.
Yeah.
So this again is being done. There's, you know, different aspects of this. Of course, they're talking about something that they already do for Native Americans, which is, yeah, we'll give you free education. Okay, that's great. That's great. Educate a bunch of kids that can't get jobs in the fields they went to school for. Whatever, right? We've only lived that, and just know that we are the largest. Um, the African in America is the most educated populace, right?
Yes. Yes.
The African American woman is the most educated demographic in this country, is the African American woman. Why? Because they listened when they were being told by the cause and different world back in the day, go to school, get your education,
Right.
get a good job, be a good citizen. So we've done the things that we've been asked to do by this society. We're just waiting for this government to do what they're supposed to do, which is, yeah, right this wrong. So what you may see is legislation designed to improve your possibility of not being homeless, right?
Right.
Hell, you want to give us reparations, just give niggas free health care,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't got to break yourself. You know what I'm saying? Give
Right.
them free
Absolutely.
health care. Give them a housing voucher so you can buy a house, right? Without the fear of something's gonna happen and I'm not gonna make this mortgage, right?
Right.
So make that so that they can get those things and keep it. Because we ain't asking for nothing. We never have asked for it.
Right.
We've demanded it. We've demanded it based on your actions with other people's. We demanded it when Bill Clinton got up here and gave, money to the survivors of Japanese internment camps. Yeah. Hey man, this is a slap in our face. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
give them
How can they get
you
bread?
give them $60,000, but then you apologize to the Tuskegee experiment boys, Miss Ever boys that was still around at the time, right? So,
Hmm.
we see this. No compensation was paid to them, whatever, right? So again, my perspective is still the same as it was with having a black president. I was highly skeptical of it, right? I don't expect nothing. If you do it, hey, if the people vote for it, and you guys see we're at like that kind of time in history too, where it don't matter who's on TV, what they saying, what they dumbass gonna do, how much more orange tan he could put on, whatever, right? Don't matter what they say. When we look, 80% of Americans disagree with what your politics are, right?
Yeah.
80% of Americans disagreed with the abolishment of Roe versus Wade, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So in the long run, do you really think campaigning on we're gonna get rid of, make a total ban on abortion? Hey, your own constituents don't even agree with that, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring it back with reparations. If the people want it, eventually the people gonna get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
The people are gonna get what they want because what we have is, a hierarchy that is kind of slowly dying off. And what we're seeing is just, the fledgling of, oh, we're not going to have as much control as we used to have anymore, right?
Right.
We're becoming outnumbered. We're no longer the majority. White men are no longer the majority in this country, right? Why? Because we can outfuck them, and we need to keep outfucking them. We need to keep,
Yeah.
right, having them big families. We as people of color got away from that, right?
Right.
We don't have as big of families as our parents had and whatnot for reasons of preservation, man. It was just for reason. It's not because we don't love each other. It's not because we all became drug addicts. No, we realized, hey, it's a lot harder to make a loaf of bread split with 24 people than it is with 4 people, right?
Right.
Yep.
So we made moves, and the crab in the barrel, that does apply to us, right? Where we look at our Latino neighbors, and yeah, they may be viewed as we all live together until we get on our feet and we move out. Black people, we was that way too. Don't ever think that you weren't those people.
Right.
You
Yeah. We
were the
did that too.
same.
Yep.
Yep.
You were the same. Just understand that there was a systematic destruction against you that started way before you was even born. We
Right.
could thank the drag queen J. Edgar Hoover and COINTELPRO against everything that was positive for your advancement,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shut up and let somebody else take over the mic.
Staff, let me ask this question real quick to staff. So on the table is the $1.2 million docket for reparations in California, right? That's on the table for the ballot, right? So of that $1.2 million, we know that's not something to sneeze at, you know what I'm saying? But it's still not a lot of money when you look at the numbers of black people in that country. I mean, not in that country, but in that state of California that gonna get that reparations. If we were able to get, I don't think Kit said he don't think they're gonna hand out any checks at all. But if the money were, given to those black folks, do you think that they will be able to take that money and come to your country in Jamaica and build something as a people collectively to be able to start manufacturing goods and services and stuff like that?
Most definitely.
Will Jamaica be able to embrace them and be able to put them in that area, knowing that Jamaica is a mostly African country?
For one, when you're talking about products to merchandise, Jamaicans from way back to this day, they love American products. If it says made in
Commercial
America,
products.
American products,
American.
American products. So if it said made in America,
Yeah.
they're gonna gravitate to it. So it will work there. But here's my question on the money. For instance, I'm gonna take Jamaica because, like I said, I've been following Jamaica because I'm a Jamaican. I've been following that really keenly.
Right.
England, that's where Jamaica looking for their money from. England was the one who came and did their wrong.
Right.
In the Caribbean, of course, possible wherever. I'm not a history buff, so I don't know, but I just know they did it wrong in Jamaica. And now we want that money to help build this country. Not one state, not one town, but the entire country.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
what I'm hearing from you guys now is that they're trying to do it here, state by state and people by people.
yeah. So if they come and give us this check, my thing is this, right? So here's what I'm advocating for black folks, you know what I'm saying, to unite,
Mhm.
unite, finally come together. If reparations were to ever be a possibility, unite and go to an African country where your assets can be used to build and manufacture goods that can produce goods not only for that country but for the
Mhm.
rest of the world. And then that monies can be used to build generational wealth for the youth coming up. So let's say, for instance, we produce in Jamaica a manufacturing plant. You know, and the reason why I advocate for going to Jamaica or going to Africa, you know what I'm saying, to build that plant is because of the possibility of them, you know, getting jealous and burning us down like they did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and, you
Right.
know, and tearing down Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
go to a country that is populated by Africans where you can get some protection. You see what I'm saying? As long as you're paying, you know, sanctions or whatever you need to pay, you know, to the country to contribute to that country as
Mhm.
well while you're manufacturing those goods, but you're getting protection from that country for your warehouse, for your manufacturing warehouse, whatever you need to do, your plant, and that plant will be protected and not destroyed by white Europeans who are jealous because you're competing against them now, you know, financially. So that's what I'm thinking. Like going to Jamaica or Africa, you know what I'm saying? Go to Ghana, go to Nigeria, go, you know what I'm saying, Nubia, somewhere, Uganda, you know,
Mhm.
anywhere, and start building, you know,
Mhm.
African manufacturing companies that can compete on a
Right.
On a
global
global
scale,
scale, yeah.
on a
Yeah.
global scale, and be able to produce goods that are tradable, you know, with other countries. You know what I'm saying? So when you look on the back of your t-shirt and you see, you know, t-shirts made in Kenya or made in, you know, India, that type of thing,
Mhm.
you know that that particular product was produced in a plant somewhere in that
Mhm.
country that you're purchasing in your academy sports that you go into, your Walmart or whatever you find, and you pick that shirt off the rack and you read the tag where it was produced, that's where you'll
Mhm.
get your money from. That money then will go back to that particular community of people and be able to support them. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So when you think of it from that perspective, how you can build generational wealth by utilizing the reparations, not just to re-stimulate this economy here in
Exactly.
America, but to be able
Yeah,
to
but
build a
globally.
global, you
Mhm.
know, industry where you can actually do something for your children's children. You see what I'm saying?
But you know what? Once this thing, if it is passed, right, uh, hopefully it won't be tied up in a whole bunch of legalism. I'll give you, for instance, I myself have been a veteran, right? For the past 10 years, man, I've been fighting for my
Your
disability.
benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That I should have gotten, should have had information on and all of that other stuff as
Yeah.
soon as I got out of the military. But I didn't find out until years later. And then trying to go back and do all of the paperwork and this, that, and the other and documents held up in court. Now my case has been pending, man, and at the last appeal stage for about 2.5 years. You
And that
know,
should not have
so
been.
exactly. So
If they were able to give you your money or give you the information when you first got out, then you'll be able to build and be able to build for you and your family. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When you was in the military. But when you first got out of the situation, no one told you, you know, what you were entitled to. You know, what were your
Hmm.
benefits? how to apply for these and how to obtain them. You know what I mean? So from that perspective, you looking at it and saying like, well, I didn't receive my full benefits, and now it's years later, and all of that money that they kept that they owed you. You see what I'm saying? They owed you those monies that was yours, and
Right.
you were
Yeah, you're
entitled
entitled
to.
to it. That's it.
And now,
You're
yeah,
entitled.
you left it on the table. You know what I'm saying? So it was left on the table, but no fault of your own. But they never
Right.
volunteered to give you that information. But they're going to make sure that they get all of the work out of you that they're going to get out of you. They're going to make
Hmm.
sure
Right.
that they're going to get every last bit of investment that they put in you out of you. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And they're not going to tell you exactly what you're entitled to.
Hey, Sean,
Exactly.
I hear you mention generational wealth quite a bit, and that's one of my pet peeves because I'm strictly into that right now, building some material generational wealth. And generational wealth for me is through investment, good
Mm.
investments, some
Yeah.
stocks, some bonds,
Hmm.
Yes.
some
Yes.
cryptocurrency. Generational wealth, you say at least 5 times. You say that should be another topic all by itself, my brother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about that on another show. That's a good segue for the next show. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
How to invest your money. We talking about using stocks and bonds and mutual funds and
And
savings accounts,
IRAs. Yep.
IRAs. You know what I'm saying? All type of stuff. That's gonna be another. That's gonna be the next show in
that's
2 weeks.
how
We're
you're
gonna
gonna build.
get
That's
deep
how
off
you're gonna
into that.
build generational wealth. That's how you're gonna build generational wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
You
that
start.
money,
You got to
Definitely
start
through
from the bottom.
investment.
that money
Mhm.
that's coming to the people, that money now needs to be flooded into the stock market to build the economy and build the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to do that.
And we got to
Yep.
build the companies to be able to put on the stock market to be able to support and grow
Right.
those companies.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Those
I
black
mean,
owned companies. I got a black owned company right here, mariefossard.com. You know what I'm
all
saying?
right.
Just imagine if I got the support financially, if everybody sent $5 to the corporation of Marie Fossard, what we can do with those particular funds. We can grow and expand,
Mhm.
into manufacturing plants and warehouses, be able to ship out, everything like that we need to do. And then we can go back into the community and support, those communities with the poor, underprivileged children from the dollars that we get from the organization to be able to give them food, education, and arts and crafts and knowledge and information for how to, get jobs and go to school or, you know, develop a trade, whatever they need to do. We could do all sorts of things, but we won't collectively come together as a people to support that because of the many disloyal, dishonest, untrustworthy situations that we had in
Right.
organized organizations, like the
Yeah.
church,
Yeah.
like charitable organizations that have historically proven to have been untrustworthy to the people. And the people have been so scarred, from, those experiences. Big Mama got robbed out of her money from going to church all them
Hmm.
years.
Hmm.
Hey,
And
you
when it came
remember?
time, she didn't
Right.
get
Yeah.
nothing. When it was time for her to go through her little death and every burial and stuff, she couldn't get the, it's just a lot of different traumatic situations that occurred that people are no longer trusting organized companies to be able to support. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? But we could do amazing and great things, but people are trying, but it's just like you can't get the financial backing of your people to be able to accomplish something like that on a grand
Well,
scale.
we talked about this off camera a little bit, Sean, and we were talking about the situation in Chicago, man. I was telling you, you know what I'm saying? If everybody got together, man, you know what I'm saying? $5, $10, $25, family, whatever the case, right? And pool that money together, they could invest and buy it at Walmart or whatever they wanted to buy within that community, man.
Yeah,
Assign a board, get some people to actually run it. Then we're investing in ourselves. We're investing in our own community, and we can build things that way. If we can actually, like you said, build that trust and that loyalty and actually come together on those types of issues. You know, that would
Man.
be a great way for us to go. We also talked about, man, the still building brand, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
what we want to do with that, man, as far as getting out in the community. We started, man, over in Germany, you know what I'm saying? And the whole idea was to help each other grow, to
Yeah.
help
Right.
build up the community of not just black people, but all people, but beginning with black people,
Right.
So
Right.
if we can utilize those ideas, those strategies, those things, and put them together, then of course we can move forward. And I would love to see us, man, begin to move into other areas. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
you've heard
It
me
can be
say,
done.
not
It can be
not
done.
just talk about it, let's be about it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be done, man. We could do an S corporation LLC, right? Where you have board members, members of the board, right? So each one of us have to vote on how to move forward with donations or funds that come into the organization. So there's an accountability there. There's a trust factor there. So
Right,
no one can say that, you have your, identified uh rules and things that you go through with your organization and how you're going to have your checks and balances, and you can and provide that to the public. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
these are how we're going to utilize these funds that you contributed to this organization, and this
right,
is exactly what we're going to do. So you can build a sense of trust from the community. That
Right.
way, when they send their $5 in and contribute to that donated organization that you build, then they'll know what the agenda is, what we plan on doing with the money, and how we're going to execute that money. And then we can reveal that to the people through the internet, be able to offer them, be able to provide them some information so they can see some transparency that's going on with the
complete
organization.
transparency. Yes,
Yeah, so there is no fear of a lack of trust in what you're doing to support this organization. There's no hidden agenda. There's nothing that we're hiding from you. We're showing you the progress that's occurring. We're showing you exactly the steps and stuff, and we're providing a mailing list of everything that's going on, to the contributor, those who contributed, the donors. You know what I'm saying? So it can be done, but we have to be committed to supporting that effort and putting in the
that's right,
time
that's
necessary.
right.
So we have to also
Right.
market it. We got all of
Loyalty.
the education. We got all of the education, but we don't apply it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have all of the knowledge, but we don't apply it. So we need to be able to stop talking about a lot of stuff and actually start doing. Going into and starting committing to stuff. So I built an organization. I have a foundation, a nonprofit, non-for-profit organization
Right,
already. It's called the Marriott Foundation. You know what I'm saying? So I got the Marriott Foundation. You can Google that and you'll see that it is registered in the state of Texas. It is legit. It is a nonprofit organization already established, IRS exempt, tax 501c3,
Yeah.
already established. I've done all of the paperwork. I've done all the administrative support. I just need the support to back it. I need like board of directors. I need presidents. I need all of that to be able to support the movement and the
Yeah.
vision that we have to be able to go forward. So I can do it. There's no problem with doing, but I just need the support to be able to do
Yeah.
that. So it's a lot. People talk a good game, but when it's
hmm
come time to do, there's
Yeah.
very little people that are willing to do
absolutely, absolutely.
and
So
be
all our
committed to do.
listeners, you hear what we got going on. You hear what Sean is saying. Let's go ahead, man. Let's step up. Let's give the support and everything that we need in order to take steel building into the next stratosphere.
We need to move. I mean, we need to start making moves. We can actually do that. We can do that because we have all of the knowledge. Like Kit was
Hmm.
saying, the most educated people in this country are the black folks, the most educated. But what are we doing with the education? What we're doing is going back to work for the corporations that, you
Yeah.
know, white European corporations, and giving them all of our talents, giving them all of our time, committing all of our efforts. And then when we get older, we're in hoping that they give us a retirement check, a percentage of that. You see what I'm saying? You get 2,500,
Right.
3,500 dollars a month. So you've worked your entire life, 30, 40 years. You've given your talents, your energy, your efforts, your sweat, your knowledge, all to
hmm
this white European organization. And at the end of the day, you turn 50, 60 years old, they're gonna say, okay, we'll give you a check, you know what I'm saying, for 2,500 to 3,500 a month. And then you don't know what your health is looking like because you probably ain't eating right, like
Right.
staff was saying.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't on those herbs. You out at McDonald's and you going to you eating,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, restaurants every weekend. So your health ain't gonna be the best at the age of
Right.
60. You ain't gonna look like Staff. Staff is amazing. He looking amazing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you ain't on the herbs. So then you get to the end. Let's bring Cook back in. Then you get to the end of your life and you got this check. You know, what are you going to do with this check that you wasted your entire life to go get when we could have put all of that energy and effort into us building
Yeah.
ours and developing it and made it easier for everybody? You
And
see what
just
I'm saying?
remember, like that, everything is always going to be stacked against you, right? Like, I'm not trying to make it seem like it's dismal or, like you got the whole world against you, but like just conceptualize, like, hey, I got a lot of shit on my plate already, right? So nothing is really going to come easy. And even like with our generation, right? Retirement age has gone up twice. It used to be 62, then 65 is 67, and they talk about making it 70.
See,
So you're gonna
they moving the
spend,
goalposts again.
yeah, they
See?
keep moving the goalposts. So, if you got a plan,
Right.
and I shared this with you guys over the week, my plan was never to be here past a certain time. I
Yeah.
made adjustments to my plan based on sticking to my plan, So I made a
Okay.
3-year adjustment, but it was financial. Hey, I could stack a little bit more money if I work a little bit longer, right? But it was
Yeah.
still, the plan was, hey, when I reached a certain age, it was just my personal thing, and I consider myself my own man. I knew I did not want to work a corporate job past age 50. I'm
Right.
stepping away just before my 53rd birthday, right?
Right.
I'm not going to stop doing what I'm going to do, but I'm not
Right.
going to do corporate no more. I'm going back to, hey, I was this dude before. I can continue in these things. I've suppressed my inner comedian for, no, on some real shit. You know what I'm saying? I suppressed my inner comedian and appearance in certain forums, like doing stand-up comedy, because video will get out, right? And then when they see, oh, this is how he really talks, he say nigga 57 times in 1 minute, right? How much longer am I gonna last in a corporate job that already has a social media policy that says, yeah, they'll hold that shit against you. So it
Right.
wasn't like fear of, oh, I'm gonna lose my job. It was more like, nah, I got a plan, I'm sticking to my
Exactly.
plan. And once I'm at this goal, now, hey, I'm on my last week, right? So everybody is good morning, nigga, when I get to work, right?
Right.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's I don't have that, like, I'm at the end now. It don't matter no more, right? I'm out the door, and then it's just building and going forward from there. And I wish that for everyone, but you have to have those plans, and like Jack alluded to, Sean, you alluded to, we weren't given all the right tools, certain tools aren't built into our communities either, so when we look at like the Jewish community, what do kids do during summer school? They taking financial investment classes, they're taking these are children doing this shit. Financial
Right.
Right.
literacy classes, right? There's a book called Who Moved My Cheese, that's a
Yeah, I
mandatory.
read that book. I read that
Yeah,
book.
it's a mandatory
Yeah.
read for you in a lot of business aspects. But I'm like, hell, I wish I knew this when I was 15, right?
Right.
That
Right.
remember George Kiyosaki and his goddamn Good Dad, Rich
Yeah.
Dad, Poor Dad, right? And he had
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Who that? Huh?
rich dad's rich kid, right? I bought that for my niece just to say, hey, when you get a little money, you work in this little job, put a little bit aside, invest your money in these things, right? We have
Right.
magnificent brothers and sisters. We have Dr.
We
Boyce
do.
Watkins. We got
Yep.
the Dr. Claude Archibald, right? I mean, Dr. Claude
Yep.
Yeah.
Anderson,
Claude
right?
Anderson.
We have
Yeah,
we
Claude
have
Anderson.
our
Marvin
own
Golden.
scholars in like everything that it is that we as people of color are interested in. Please do not neglect your ghetto scholars. Don't look over them for somebody else, because they're coming from a perspective that's in alignment with you. They're
Yep.
in alignment with you.
Right.
So at least check them out. At least, I'm not saying
Right.
buy into every goddamn thing. Definitely do your
No.
research, right? But
Yep.
listen to your scholars.
Right.
Listen to your scholars,
Yep.
because they're coming with the wisdom that's tapping back in your DNA millennia, and we know we got scam artists. We niggas didn't know nothing about Rob Report till somebody figured out, oh yeah, we can scam them like this, right? Then they running all
Yep.
this reverse mortgage, take money out of your house and do all of this. No. If anybody start coming with something that seems like it's gonna take away from what you already have, the red light should go off, right? Flags, bells, whistles, things should start
That's
going
why you
off,
need
right?
checks and balances, man, with a board. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? You
yeah.
have your
Yes.
Oh
business
yeah.
plan
Gotta
identified.
have it.
You have your board of directors and stuff like that. So there's checks and
Gotta have
balances.
it.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how you do that. You dig? So yeah, man. So it's just a lot of different things, man, that we can possibly do, especially with the Still Building podcast. We not only want to give you information and knowledge, but we want to actually start doing things in the communities as well and building it. So we're going to
Absolutely.
grow this Still Building podcast and become even more than what we already doing now, just sharing information and giving knowledge and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. But we're supposed to be giving the knowledge and applying the knowledge as well.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So we
Mentorships.
can't just,
Right.
Ask a question,
be
Sean.
talk about it. We got to be about it. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to walk it like we talk it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Sean,
they
Indeed.
say. Go ahead,
for
Stab.
the steel building, if someone interested and say, okay, I want to go read up on this thing here, where would they go to find out about
Yes.
Well, we got to build a website. We got to build a website first and be able to get the website together on the Still Building podcast so that people can actually start going to. So we need like software engineers, people that can help out build a website to be able to, construct that. And then we can start establishing, a point of contact and communications where we can actually direct people to, and we can give them answers outside of just the, live video and stuff like that. We
it? Right.
started here. You know what I'm saying? We're starting right here. You know what I'm saying? But we can grow and expand into different avenues and be able to grow the Still Building podcast into something more and evolve into what we at. You know what I'm saying? We start with a conversation. You start with a vision. You start with a plan. Then you start writing the plan, writing the vision. You know what I'm saying? And then you start
Yeah.
developing and then you execute from there. You know what I'm saying? So there's steps and
Mhm.
levels to the plan that you can use to be able to do it. It's not impossible. You just have to have time and you have to have committed individuals who willing to commit some time to the
Right.
effort. We're not talking about
Right.
all day, every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We meet every 2 weeks on Still Building Podcast.
We
You
do.
know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So it's like we don't, we got our time to spend with our families and our friends and loved ones and stuff like that. But at the same time, we commit ourselves to, providing information and knowledge and wisdom, you know what I'm saying? Because it's helpful to our people. You know what I mean? So we got to take
Indeed.
that and then build on it and, try to get that structure out there to be able to grow.
I hear you loud and clear as far as the website, but what I'm saying and what I'm hearing, you got some real nice ideas and some valid points on your podcast. So you need to start incorporate all these ideas because you already got the vision. So somebody can go right there, like right now, if somebody could just type up, okay, Steve Building, they can start read up about what you're all about and where you're going and stuff like that. See what I'm saying? So all those stuff need to be in place.
Yeah.
Somebody can start read up about you. So when the website come, they already know about you.
Right.
You with me?
Yeah. We putting the cart before the horse, no doubt. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well,
You
right
definitely
now,
putting the
Yeah,
cart
because
before the
when
horse.
people
well,
look it
we
up,
just mentioned that everything is under Marifa Sorry LLC right now, right?
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, yeah. If anybody looks us
Right
up,
now.
everything is gonna come up as Marifa Asari LLC.
Right.
Right. So
And
we can switch and change it all into Still Building Podcast. That's no problem. I know exactly how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
right.
putting the time together to be able to commit to do that. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm at the
Yeah.
plantation, 9 to 5, I don't have the time to
You,
be able to
yeah,
support
you
that
need
effort.
somebody else
Right.
though. Yeah, you need somebody
Exactly.
else there
That's
that can
right.
pick up the slack.
You
Yeah,
need to welcome me,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yes.
So now
Yeah.
it's time for you to delegate.
yeah.
Well,
Yes.
I'm getting ready to go to the
Delegate.
plantation in a few.
Delegate.
Right.
Delegate. You have to
Yep.
delegate, man. Somebody else can do it
Yep.
while you're busy doing something else. You got somebody
Yep.
else picking up the slack. So I'm saying,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
plan it right,
Hey,
then execute.
but check this out though, man. It don't take long to make things come into fruition. You know what I'm saying? Sean, how long did we talk about doing this podcast? You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
we spoke about it maybe a couple of months ago, and then boom, we started.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm
Start
saying?
with the vision, man.
So
Start with the
so
vision.
we're gonna
Yeah,
bring this into fruition as well, man. You know,
Yeah.
going ahead and doing the things that need to be done. Hey, I'm proud of you brothers, man, to have y'all having my back, you know what I'm saying? And accomplish things that I didn't know how to accomplish, some things I couldn't accomplish because of different circumstances, so on and so forth. But
Oh yeah.
I just thank God for where we're headed. I
Yes,
thank
Oh
God
sir.
yeah.
for where we're headed.
So if
And
anybody
bringing us
listening
back
to the
together.
podcast, yes, anybody listening to the podcast and you're a web developer, please reach out to me at you know what I'm saying, Marie Fassar LLC. Leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? You can reach out to me at mariefassar@gmail.com as well. You know what I'm saying? Leave me an email or something. Get in touch with me so we can start building, still building, you know what I'm saying, and start growing and using that platform to be able to grow and expand and do great things for our people in the community. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of ideas, a lot of vision, a lot of wisdom that we can give back to the people, the next generation, to be able to help them along their journey, to be able to help them be better than what we were and what we
Mhm.
came through. We experienced it all so that they won't have to go through that. You know what I'm saying? So now we
Absolutely.
just need somebody with the time, ability, the capabilities to be able to grow and build that. We're gonna compensate you for your time. We know everything costs money. So we're gonna make sure you
Yeah,
get
that's right.
compensated for your
Yeah.
time. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nothing for free. We know that. I know that for sure. You know what I'm saying? So just
Hey, I
reach
know
out
I
if you're
know
very
Fiverr is
serious.
a lifesaver.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
use sites like Fiverr where, hey, $5, man. People will do stuff. That's why we have to politic outside of the online side to put everything into motion, right? Web developing and whatever else. If you guys want to do products or, services, consultation is my thing. But
yeah.
yeah, man, we really got to talk about this, offline as well to bring
We
things to
will.
fruition. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely will. We
exactly.
I just
definitely
like
will.
that we're putting it out there on the internet. So now it could be, part of recorded history and people can go back and go, hey man, did y'all realize on this date and this time you were talking about it? And then one day
Yeah,
it'll come to fruition, right? So
that's
we
right.
all for it. We all for it.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
Absolutely.
For sure. Wow,
Absolutely.
yeah, man. But look, man, I want to shout everybody out, man, who participated in the call. You know what I'm saying? Staff, Kit
Yes.
Jones, Jack O. You know what I'm saying? I want
No
to thank
doubt.
D Cook for coming in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Even though he couldn't, he had to contribute a little bit. He was getting in and out the hospital. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to D
Yeah.
Cook, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to
Indeed.
shout out everybody in the chat room that came out. Shelly, Kaboom, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate the co-host, man, for this show. She was amazing, man, hitting the comments and the stuff like that, really participating in the show. Everybody who's gonna watch on the replay, man, nothing but love and support, man, for all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, anybody else
Definitely.
got anything before we get up out of here?
Still building, baby.
Hey,
Building a better
thanks to
world
Mrs.
by
Cook.
first starting with the black community.
That's
Yeah,
right, man. So all about planning.
I want to send a shout out to Mrs. Cook for her comments in the background too. You guys don't have to
yeah.
apologize. No,
Shout out to Mrs. Cook.
it's all. Hey, want to acknowledge the sister. We heard her.
Oh
I wish
yes.
next time, David, you got to put her on blast, put her in the camera so we can, match a face with a name or match a face with a sound, right? A voice. So,
Right,
you know,
right.
we all moving at the speed of life, and we should be able to laugh at things like that. We don't take it personally. I hope David was not offended by, us saying, hey, we can hear you. We're not offended, brother. None of us, we
No.
ain't doing this. This ain't no professional. Ain't nobody getting paid for this yet,
Right,
No.
right? Yet,
right,
right?
right.
So, hey, we doing this leisurely. I appreciate you brothers' time and the sisters that are contributing. Please continue to hit us up, like and share, subscribe to the channel.
Yes,
Indeed.
Let's
yes.
help build this into something, way bigger than what we can imagine.
That's right.
Oh
Remember,
yes. It
each
is.
one, each one.
Yes, sire.
Yes.
Say that again, Staff. Say that again. One more again.
Remember, each one, teach one.
That's right.
Yes, indeed.
Mhm.
Amen. Amen to that. You dig? So, Lick, man, you know, this has been another Still Building podcast, man, where I would like to say, you know, the more you know, the more you
The
will
more
grow,
you grow.
and the better off we all shall be, man. So, until next time, I'm going to say, love and light, y'all. Peace. Let's go,
Peace.
fellas.
Peace. Two
Yo,
fingers.
yo.